Hello everyone, this is Blankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So, yesterday I finished the main bulk of her hair. I still think it mostly looks pretty good. Just got a tiny thing I want to touch up here. I think I mentioned yesterday that I felt like this little strand was curling near the bottom there, and that is indeed the last little problem that I have with it right here. Where it still just feels like it's curling on the bottom just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Straightened it out. So now hopefully that'll line up at the bottom a little bit better. Mostly. Looks like right here is still rather plump compared to how it should be. So let's narrow that just a little bit there, so this way it doesn't bulge when she's moving around. That would indeed look a bit strange, so here we go. But yeah, everything else I think is looking really good, so I'm just going to start turning the various little strands on, and yeah, I think that works. Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure about this still. I think part of it is that it's curling a little bit right here, too, for one. And then from there, I need to do something to figure out why the vertices are kind of being a little bit squirmy. Because, yeah, there's a little bit of squirming right through there. It's small, but noticeable enough that it bothers me, so I'm going to go ahead and fix that up. So there we go, just spacing out the vertices a little bit better there, and I think that did it. Let's zoom out. There still might be a little bit of a stretch right there. Let's see what being out closer to 100% suggests. And hold on, I got a quick cough here. I have been less phlegmy this morning than I have been all week, but Still got a little bit going on in my throat there. It's okay. Such things take a little bit of time to get out of my system. But I think all should be well. Alright, so I'm just gonna, once again, fix out some of the spacing on the vertices here. Still feel like there's a little bit of something going on there. Not quite sure what it is, but I will find it. I will find it, and I will fix it. Oh wow, okay. These vertices right around here are actually surprisingly far apart. So that was probably what I was seeing. Or rather, they should be far apart, where I was keeping them a little bit more evenly spaced. Yeah, still not quite there. I do think the left looks good, right? Yeah, I guess the left is tilting upward a little bit too, so maybe part of the problem is also on the left. it's not that bad, really. So I don't think I need to fix the left that much. The left seems to be lining up pretty well. Yeah. There's not really that much changing here. I'll go ahead and just fix some of those, but I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference. So I got a little bit of a mystery to solve before I can go in and start putting on some other strands. That's okay. I just have to listen very, very closely to the mesh here, and I'm sure it'll tell me what's going on here. It's very mysterious. Okay. Wanted to take a look as to where I feel like the spacing problems really start. It was right around here. So armed with that knowledge, maybe I can fix some of these spacing problems by starting all the way up there. Yeah, that helped quite a lot, I think. And now I can just touch up the last little bits. Another case of, as always, there's a lot of little details to pay attention to, and it's fine. Alright, I think we're looking good. So now I'll go back and pay attention to some strands. I should check this one on the front bang that I started yesterday, and make sure I still like it. I didn't look at it quite as closely because I was very distracted by how things over here looked. I always like to take a quick look at things right before stream. It's one of the things that I do when my stream starting screen is on. I just take a look and see what's there and see what immediately jumps out at me and what I want to start with. As always, my artistic process just has me look at whatever is bothering me at the most in that moment, and starting there, and then kind of dancing around. So I'm just going through and checking the angles here. Right at the beginning, there was a part that looked a little bit thin right through there, and it was getting a little crunchy. So I fixed that first, and then I decided that I didn't quite like its location. Felt like it was like floofing upward a little bit more than it should. So now with that, hopefully it stops squirming. And indeed, I think that's pretty good. Alright, then it looks like I need to fix the highlight just a little bit. It's sliding up. There's not a lot of color variation on this strand, so its location in a lot of ways doesn't matter that much. But right here, there's just a little highlight, and that needs to get into the right place. I don't actually mind if the highlights slide around a little bit, but there's a limit to how much I can get away with that. And when I was working on the rest of the hair, I actually had it sliding around quite a bit. If you look at my angles closely, the highlights do move around. But I tried to change that based on the direction of the head, so that this way it looks like the light is merely hitting a different spot. Yeah, there we go. That's lining up better. Alright. Cool. Let's do the next one. So that would be this guy. Alright, so this one is just... he's just hiding a little bit. Gotta bring him on out. Where is it? There we are. So here, rather than like use the brush or something, I was using the arrow keys on the keyboard after selecting all of the vertices. When I want to move the entire thing, if I plan to deform it a little bit afterward, I prefer to just use the deform tools instead of the translation tools. I find it's a little bit less likely to have some shenanigans happen. So typically when I'm using the regular transform tools, so these guys up here, I don't intend to deform that thing. That's why you'll often see me use them on nodes and other things that cannot be deformed. But for things that can be deformed, I'll often just directly use the deform tools. I have found that mixing both the translation and the deforms on the same layer, can result in some unexpected behavior. So I just found that this is an easier way to do it. Alright, I think that loop is in a good spot. Maybe just need to straighten it out the top just a little bit. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, right about there. I think that will line it up a little bit better with the left turn. In fact, I think I need to do something kind of similar here. I don't feel like it's attaching properly right there. It's okay, this is why I go back and check these things. Alright, I think that's pretty good. So I guess we're doing this one. Okay, I can already tell just by looking at it that it's very much not in the right place. So let's see how I need to fix this. Do I have any transformations on you right now? What layer are you? Hair behind middle. Hair behind middle. Okay. It's actually not quite as far off as I thought it was, but for whatever reason I thought that this connected the bottom of the loop, not the top of the loop. But it looks like it connects to the top of the loop, so it's actually not that bad. Alright, let's get it into the right place here. Okay, I lost the layer for a second there. I have been working so much with a lot of these other ones that I just forget where some of these strands are in my tree. Alright, once I straighten this out, I think that should look pretty good. Strands tend to be pretty straightforward. That's why I often just hide them and then do them all at once at the end, because I can generally do them all in one rigging stream. Just nice and easy. Now I'm curious if I have any lurkers in the chat or people watching the VODs that happen to hear this. Has there been I guess, a fantasy adventure game or comic or something that you have enjoyed recently? Because I have been in the mood for some stuff like that. I've been thinking about, like, revisiting the Tales series, for example. And, some JRPGs like that, or maybe Zelda. Some of the older ones that I have not played in a long time. But JRPGs in particular came to mind. Of just wanting something with a more substantial story than Zelda often gives. Zelda's a little bit more focused on just, I don't want to say raw gameplay, but it's a different kind of thing. So if anything comes to mind that you think I should check out, let me know in the comments. Or come say hello. Okay. Strand is getting there. This is always the hard part with strands for me, is that I notice problems of it a little bit more easily with some of these. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just because they're super thin and all that, so when the angle on them is even just a little bit off, it just feels really wrong. Okay, let's see if that did it. I just felt like it was fanning out the back there a little bit too much. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. I think I need to slide the bottom of this highlight down a little bit too, though. So we'll just slide it on down. Easy peasy. I'm trying to keep the distance between the vertices relatively similar. At least I assume that's how I meshed it, but given how many spacing mistakes I have found in my past meshes, I guess that's not a guarantee. Yeah, there we go. That's looking pretty alright. Looks like I might need to slide down the highlight here too, yeah. I think the lower left has this correct. So I will use the lower left to determine where these vertices should live. Okay, and then I think once I adjust this just to the very top here, that all should be well. I just didn't like the angle that it was coming out at. So that was a fairly small adjustment. Still don't quite like it. Let's try again. I'm running into the edge here. I might have slid some things down a little bit too far. But no, I think that looks okay. So let's see it now. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Let's do the next one. So that's just the one up here. I had partially connected this one early on. So I think it's going to be like halfway into the right place here. Oh, I actually don't have it in the right place here. Okay, well that should definitely be fixed too. Because it connects... Oh yeah, I guess because I moved some stuff around here. But it connects like right here. Right on the top of that little shadow there. And it just hangs on down. It doesn't really curl, it just falls gently right over to her ear. Just a little loose strand. All right. So now I just have to do that again over here. Just let it sit on top of this little shadow, and then let it gently fall to the side. And that should be exactly where it needs to go. And there we go. Yeah, that doesn't look quite right, does it? Oop. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what's going on there. Okay, and it is the lower left that's panicking. Okay. Alright, well, let's try that again. All you could really do. That is definitely not a good spot for this little strand. We'll just slide it a little bit closer here. Okay, yeah, that's looking alright now. Let's see if it lines up. It's no good if it doesn't line up after all. Okay, and from there... I also think I want to push it more like this. It just really felt like it was getting up and running away. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but here we are. It's alright, I can put it back. Maybe I moved it at some point in the past. I do remember kind of getting it into place. But then I guess a bunch of stuff changed, and now it's... Now that old spot that was looking good is just no good at all. Oh, that's fine, it happens. Things change. Right now I'm trying to line it up with the lower turn because I find that good for length, but I'm trying to figure out how long something should be. And I'll align it up with the left head turn after I'm satisfied with that. There's a couple of little highlights on this strand that are a bit too high, so I'm just pulling everything down like this. Now, hopefully this little highlight right there, just a tiny little highlight, will line up correctly. A little bit too far down. Once again, I'm just trying to make sure that the spacing is relatively consistent throughout the strand. Okay, I still feel like it's being stretched out a bit in the middle. So I'm going to consult the mesh real quick. I actually want to see what the mesh has to say here. Okay. The angle of the triangles just turns this way a little bit. Whereas I was having them be a little bit, I don't know, more pointing this way as opposed to this way. I will blame the natural human love for 45-degree angles. And still just a little stretch right there. Let us consult the mesh one more time. Okay. This time I had to see how it was moving on the diagonal, so that made it a little bit different. Okay. Seems pretty alright now. Let's do the next one. Okay, so the little one coming off the back of the ear. I actually think that even in the left head turn, I want this to be a little bit less attached to her ear and a little bit more attached to her hair. So probably right about there. And I already have some movement on that one, because it's moving a bit weird. Let me see. Hair, tiny strand. Look for T... T-I... Oh, hair side. Okay. So that would actually come earlier than hair side, tiny. Here you are. Okay. Looks like I had moved it around a little bit before, so I undid that. Why is that being stretched so much? Okay, there's a shenanigan happening here. Let's fix it up. And because I unset the strand in the lower left here, that means that the computer will interpolate based on what's in the left and the bottom left and the bottom. The two keyframes next to it. So if I take a little bit of time getting the left head turn looking a little bit better, then the lower left will start to look a little bit better too, and maybe there will be less I need to change. There might still be something. But I might as well start with the left first, before jumping into fixing what the lower left is doing. See just how much of it I can get looking right, without having to do any work. It's always nice when you don't have to do any work, right? Get to be lazy and have a good result. It's a wonderful thing. I often talk about how process doesn't matter that much as long as you get to everything in the end. But it does a little bit. If you can save yourself some effort, then, you know, it's a good thing. One of the things that does guide my drawing process once I start getting into like a proper rendering phase is that I tend to do the stuff in front first. So on a person, I might do the eyes just because they're important and I like drawing the eyes, but I typically do the hair before I really finalize the skin and whatnot because the hair sits on top of it. The hair is in front. And if I just draw all the skin before I finish drawing the hair, well, I might end up having drawn a bunch of extra stuff on the skin that just doesn't matter. And, well, what's the point of doing that if I don't have to? So I might as well do the stuff in front first. That's why a lot of the time I'll do some foreground stuff before going into background stuff. Sometimes I'm not very good at doing this and I end up wasting a bit of time, but that's okay. There are worse things that could happen. Okay, what's going on with the mesh here? You know, with everything I've done here, I think it might actually be better if I also unset it here. So we unset here, we unset here. Maybe we don't unset there. Okay, okay, we're still good. I'll have to unset here too. Okay, cannot unset there. There's too many shenanigans. Okay, so I might not be able to do what I was hoping to do. I've just unset a bunch of areas. And then, just move it on over. Okay, but maybe I can do it like this. Maybe instead of unset, I can reset. And then move it over to where I want it to go. So, the difference between those two things that I was looking at. Unset means that it'll reset it to nothing and will line it up with things like up here. Or with the nearby keyframes. So it'll interpolate based on that. Whereas reset puts it back to a default state. But I actually don't think reset helped with what I wanted to do either, so let's go back. So reset will put it back to how it was here before any effects were applied to it. Whereas unset just lets it be interpolated by the things around it. I guess it's probably fine the way it is. Let me check it at 100% and see if I'm getting fixated on something weird. Yeah, I think I'm just getting fixated on something weird. Okay, next strand. Alright, we got one way out in outer space here. Alright. Oh, it's like that here too. Yeah, I guess that one moved around a bit because I did move the side banks around a bit. Okay, let's fix that. We'll start with over here. But fortunately, I think I just need to move it over. Well, maybe not. Because yeah, it looks like it's getting longer. Okay, so I have some things to fix here. Just gonna consult the mesh for a moment here. I find that consulting the mesh is especially useful on little strands like this, just because every little single movement on a mesh with so few vertices makes a big difference. So I just gotta pay a little bit more attention. And that's why asking the mesh for a little bit of assistance is useful. There, now I just want to make sure it attaches all in the right place and all that good stuff. I don't think it's quite there yet. And normally I'd be a little bit more concerned that it's suddenly overlapping a bit of the side hair here. But I think that actually makes sense given the head angle and how it's turning. So at this angle it just overlaps that hair, and I think that's okay. I say that, but I think the angle on it is still a little bit wrong. So I do want to pull it away just a little bit here. Maybe something like that. I can see it still overlaps a little bit, but yeah, it keeps the proper angle. And now I'm making sure to zoom out to make sure that it all looks right, because yeah, otherwise I tend to get fixated on little things that don't matter. Oop. Huh, I would have thought that... Okay, what layer is that? I would have thought that there would have been some... that I wouldn't have set it here. Hair bang side. Hair bang... side, tiny strand, right. Unsaid. Okay. Apparently I had deformed it a little bit in the past. Yeah, there's definitely a shenanigan or two that I'm gonna have to fix here, but that is okay. Less shenanigans than when it was just over here. So, worth letting the computer interpolation helped me out a little bit. Just staring at it for a second to figure out how I want to approach moving it around. There is a little curl to it that I got rid of there that I want to add back. But first I want to make sure that it's connecting well on the top here. And there was a whole bunch of sliding happening. Okay, now I can start thinking about that little curl. There's just like a tiny little curl right here. And it's very cute. So I want to keep it. Makes her hair look softer. Yeah, there we go. That should be pretty good. Okay, next one. Another one where there's shenanigans. Alas. Okay. Didn't realize I moved the side bang over so much. It's like I remember touching it a little bit, but I didn't think it was that much. See, this is why it's important to check these things all at the end. Because your brain lies to you. The memory is unreliable. Alright, yeah, I think that's fine. Let me see, where does this connect? Is it in a good spot there? Yeah, I think so. So I think I can get away with just pushing it to the left. Much like I did the other one on the left head turn. It does look like there's some weird compression there, though. Have I... this is... hair... bang side loop. Hair bang side... loop. No, not that one. Hair... bang side... tiny strand... side, hair bang side, loop, a little bit higher. Why is this there? There should be absolutely no transforms in the hair. Okay. Okay, here we are. Okay, so I did have some prior deforms on it. So hopefully if I just push it a little bit to the left once more, then all my problems will be solved. Not quite, though. Okay. Yeah, I still feel like it's just being super compressed as it goes down there. Okay, so that means I need to separate some of these vertices. They want more personal space. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Things got real close at the bottom there. Gotta give those vertices their personal space. Otherwise, they get so squirmy. So very squirmy. I don't blame them. I would too. I'd be packed in like that. I'm guessing that there's some shenanigans with how the mesh group is moving everything underneath. And that's all. Okay, that should be fine. Next one. Over here. Yeah, this is no longer in the right place on the left head turn. So let's get it there. It kind of comes out of this light part here. Unfortunately, I don't think there's much to this one. I've never had to do very much with that one. It just kind of falls all into place. Yep, there we go. I get it right in the one spot and all is well. Let me just curl it a bit down here. I got a bit straight. I guess it's a bit straight up here too. So let's curl it a little bit. Her hair has all these nice little floofy curls to go along with all those straights. So I want to keep some of those because I think they make the hair look really pretty. And I think it'd be a shame to lose them. There we go. Now that has a slight curl to it. I think I want to curl the very, very tip. Just a little bit more. So bring this part out just a little bit here so I can just curl this just a tiny, tiny bit. Make it a little bit rounder. There we go. I don't mind that it's touching the hair next to it. I think that makes sense for this given angle, so... yeah, I'll have to fix it up there, though. Yeah, some things definitely broke while I was derping around with all this. That's okay. We'll have to go back and fix it. Okay, next one. Down here. Not sure if I'm gonna have to do much to this one. Okay, looks like it's sticking out a bit, but I can't see very well, so time for a little bit of a funny bald spot. Did I move this one earlier? This is hair main strand. So hair... oh no, this is hair side main. Okay. Hair side main. Okay. So no, this is just how the computer interpretation happened. And I don't think it's quite right. This part needs to, like... there's a part over here, it needs to be, like, way over here. Where exactly does it connect? Kind of right on top of that dark spot. So, like, right about there. Now I just want to straighten it out a bit, and I'll go ahead and put her hair back. Alright, let's see if that lines up well. Huh. I was just looking at the hair right over here, and I don't actually think I lined that up very well with the left head turn. I think I like the way the lower left looks a little bit better. So let's line up hair mane with the lower left here. It's fine if I notice things a little bit late, as long as I fix them all in the end. It'll look fine. Although, man, I have had moments while drawing where I notice a mistake that, if I had noticed it earlier, my life would have been so much easier. I think this is how a lot of artists that use line art feel. Where you get the line art looking good, and then you realize, oh no, I accidentally gave my character 6 fingers or something. Deeply, deeply unfortunate. I do that with my hands quite a lot, because I tend to use my own hands as a reference. So it's very common for me to draw them backwards. Just think of it of the way when I'm holding my hand out in front of me with my thumb pointed towards me. I will draw it the same way on the character, even though the camera is, looking straight at them. So that would actually mean, because if I have my thumb pointing towards myself, that would mean that it's on the back of the hand from that perspective. Whereas, sometimes I would still draw it pointing toward the camera. Just because that's kind of how I saw it. So I'm trying to get better at that. But that is a mistake that I have made quite a lot. It's very silly. Very, very silly. But it happens. More than I'd like to admit, even. Art is just hard. But it's still looking like I'll be able to get all the little strands done today. So that's great, and then I can do back hair tomorrow. And man, with the back hair done, that's a completed head turn. That's very exciting. I'd say that there's only one more left after this, but I mean, we just saw that there's shenanigans in the upper head turns, so I'm gonna have to go revisit them. It's okay, I'm almost there. I can hardly believe it sometimes. Come so far. Took me a while, but I have learned a lot, and I think I'm doing things better than I ever have. If I ever decide I want to make a version 2 for myself, I think I'll be very well equipped for it. Okay, there we go. Looking good. Okay, let's put some more hair on. Another easy one. Most excellent. And I think this one's already in place, so next one. Oh yeah, this is the one that's, like, not even showing on this angle. Okay, so we're done! Hooray! Yep. Okay, let's turn on the back hair. See how everything looks. Oh man, look at her wiggle. It's all very exciting. I don't think I properly mirrored the location of the nose. Okay, random thing I noticed here while I was making her head wiggle. I'll go ahead and do that. I didn't do that much, so I can just... and here we are. Set for mirror. Oh, shoot. No, I didn't want that layer. I wanted the nose node. Here we are. The one right below it. Perfect! Soon, the hair on the side will also be fixed. And everything will be good. But yeah, I think this is looking really good. I'm happy. Was just taking a look at her eyelid there, and I think it's a little bit off. No, this is the left eyelid. After that, now I'm just taking a look at her eyes, since I'm pretty sure I won't have time to get all the back hair done today. It's because the back hair is always kind of an adventure. And besides, it's the eyes. I want to make sure I get those right. That's important. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. Just gonna move her head around a little bit slowly so I can see everything. I might take another look at those tomorrow. I feel like there's something there, but I'm not quite sure what it is. I think it's in the way her eye makeup here is moving. But I think it might be good to have some fresh eyes for this. But besides, I want to take a look at the back hair. So I'm going to double check my left and downward turns real quick. Yeah, not sure about the downward turn. The left looks good though, in terms of back hair. So let's see here. Actually, it doesn't look too bad. So I think if I fix my problems with what I see in the lower head turn here, that maybe it will look a little bit better. And I won't have any problems, and I won't have to do a bunch of shenanigans in the lower left. I just felt like this triangle was a little bit off there. But I think I'm gradually getting it into place here. I think I might need to hide some of her side hair for a little bit. There we go. We'll just hide all of that for the time being, while I figure out what's going on down here. And I actually do think that it's at least kind of important to get a lot of this right for the sake of physics, because I think that her side hair there is going to be wiggling around a bit. And that means that I can't rely on it to cover up all this. See, if I could, then I can just be lazy. But I don't think I can. So no laziness for me this time. We're making up for those last 2 strands where I had to do absolutely nothing. And the eyes in her downward turn just look so ominous. I really like them. I think they work really well for her. Maybe I should hide her body too. But I don't think that's necessary. Her body's not going to move that much. I guess her coat might. Maybe I should be paying a little bit more attention to how things look with her coat off. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. I probably should do that on all angles, actually. But the rest I don't think is going to move that much in terms of her body. So I'll go about that low and I won't worry too much about the rest. I figure if there's something that looks weird when the time comes, I can fix it then. But I do intend to make a toggle where she takes her coat off. And right now there's like a spot right here. It's very subtle, but you can see that there's this light patch and then up here is a little bit darker. So I'm trying to make sure that the angle where they change is the right angle. Okay. I think we're doing pretty well there. Yeah, getting there slowly but surely. Might take a bit of time though. So we'll see if I'm able to finish this little triangle here today, or if I want to visit that tomorrow. Again, just really love the expression on her downward turn. I look at it every time and I'm just like, man. I think I nailed her personality on that one. Okay. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Let's see. There's still a little color change down here that's not lining up quite right. A lot of those little color changes there are pretty subtle. I'm wondering if I put them in unintentionally, because most of this was stuff that I drew myself. Okay, but I think that's looking pretty alright, this little area by this little triangle right here. So I think I will stop there for today. So thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to create something wonderful today. So I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.